I've tried to film this video like 3 times now today. I'm having a horrible English day, so I'm gonna try again, and I'm hoping that I can get it done this time. But hey y'all, I am back, and I have more Glitch in the Matrix stories that I'm super excited to read. I love these. I'm gonna hop right in because I feel like if I overthink it, I really can't read. So, this is an article that says 13 stories of people experiencing a glitch in the Matrix that'll freak you out. And the first story says, the wife who was seen in 2 different spots. I can do this. One evening, a man and his wife returned home from dinner. When he opened the door, he saw his wife sitting at the computer doing work, which is a normal sight when he gets off of work, except for the fact that she was entering the house with him. When they get to bed, he told her he had inexplicably seen her sitting at the computer earlier. She got very serious and told him that she had seen herself sitting at the computer too. Creepy. Okay, I struggled to get through that one really bad. The second one is where I really struggled. Also, there's like a motorcycle passing by, sorry. The second one is where I gave up every time. So it says the creepy driver and his unconscious passengers. An off-duty EMT was driving home through a storm when he spotted a Mercedes parked past a barricade with its hazard lights on. He stopped and walked over to it, shining his light in the back seat where he saw a man slumped over as if he was sleeping. In the driver's seat was a man sitting upright, staring straight ahead. He didn't blink, move, or respond to taps on the window, and the other passenger was slumped forward on the dashboard. Creeped out, the EMT stepped away to call the sheriff's station. Dispatch asked him for a license plate number, but when he went to check, a large truck was coming down the road, so he waited for it to pass. When it did, the car was suddenly gone. There were trees in one direction and barricades in the other, leaving the man wondering how in the world the car and its mysterious occupants could have simply vanished. Wait, that's actually really scary. And I got through that one with almost no issue. We got this time. We got this. 3rd time's the charm. I think this is my 3rd time filming this. Number 3 says the couple's dream. This is a simple story. A guy has a girlfriend of 2 years named Susan. One night he has a dream that he cheated on Susan with his ex-girlfriend. In the dream, while having sex with his ex, he looked over and standing outside the window is his mortified girlfriend, Susan, crying. He forgot about the dream, but then a few days later, when he was hanging out with Susan, she told him she had had a weird dream a few days earlier. She then described the exact same dream he had had, but from her point of view, looking through the window. I feel like that would be enough for me to be fully convinced that my boyfriend is cheating on me. That would be enough. But I'm also crazy. Number 4 says the man who briefly had a second life. A man recalls working as a vendor at a fish market. One morning he woke up, got dressed, got tea, went to the docks, bought some fish, and did his entire routine before selling fish all day. He spoke with his friends, smoked cigarettes, counted his money, paid his stall rent, went home, ate dinner, relaxed, and went to bed. The next morning, he woke up ready to go back to the docks for fresh fish, only things were different. He was in bed next to his wife and it was a Saturday, so he didn't have to work. It was all a dream. He's a married man who had never worked in a fish market, yet somehow he experienced life as some single fish vendor in an entirely different life, with no idea how it happened. Was it just a dream though? Because it's not a glitch in the Matrix if it's just a dream. The mom who was in 2 places. A boy and his mom were in a woodsy area near their backyard taking pictures of old cars to sell. Suddenly, there was a rustling in the bushes and his mom told him to run, so he booked it. As he sprinted, he heard a clinking sound, as if someone had jumped on the cars. He arrived at his house in a panic, only to find his mom sitting at the table reading the paper. He asked his mother about it as an adult, and while she remembers having cars in the backyard that she sold, she doesn't recall this incident ever happening. So the mom that was outside that told him to run was fake? No. Number 6, the orange doll that refused to go away. This one's about a doll, which means I'm not gonna like it. Someone recalls their dad having a little toy monkey that he used to teasingly say was his favorite child. It was an ongoing joke. This person and their siblings would try to steal the monkey, playing into it. One day, they got a hold of the monkey and drew all over it with a Sharpie and then threw it in the garbage. They laughed when their dad searched for it, but he gave up when he figured they had thrown it away. A few years later, this person was walking down the street in Toronto when they saw an orange object on the side of the road. They walked up to it and it was the exact same toy monkey, black Sharpie lines and all. This person is still stunned, unable to figure out how this is possible when their garbage is sent to a local dump that's nowhere near Toronto. That's weird as hell. It's haunted, it's possessed. Okay, the guys who lost an hour of life. A dude was in the car with a couple of friends heading home from a road trip. His parents called to see how far away he was and he told them it'd be about 25 minutes. Shortly thereafter, he came around a bend and saw a full moon, which was reflected in the lake below. The road ahead was completely empty, not a single car in sight. Suddenly, everything went pitch black for a moment. No dashboard lighting, no headlights on the road, no music. Then the music was back, with the CD playing from the beginning, There was a vehicle being pulled over by a cop a quarter mile ahead, though it hadn't been there a split second earlier. He assumed that he had momentarily fallen asleep, but after a few moments, the driver of the car exclaimed he thought he had just fallen asleep as well. They shared the experience, and more concerning was the clock, which was reading an hour later than it had a bit earlier. To avoid freaking out, they convinced themselves the car must have had an electrical failure that reset the clock, but then they arrived at his house 25 minutes later, and he was an hour late. To this day, he has no idea how to explain the brief blackout and missing hour. Okay, number 8, the dream that came true. Someone remembers having a dream as a 15-year-old that was all blackness and talking. In the dream, she could hear her mother saying comforting things like, "You're doing great, and it's gone." She didn't think anything of it, but a few months later, her earrings were embedded inside her earlobes and she had to go to the hospital to have them removed. They applied some type of freeze spray, but it accidentally went into her ear, touching the eardrum. She was knocked out, but she could still hear. Her mother was saying the exact same comforting things to her that she had heard in the dream a few months earlier. I don't like that. I don't like that. The wave. At age 10, someone was in a parking lot with their parents. They looked up at a nearby house and saw a teen in the window. The teen waved and the 10-year-old waved back. It felt like they somehow knew each other. 10 years later, this person was visiting their grandma's new house. They looked out of a window and realized it was the house overlooking the same parking lot from years ago. Then a girl around 10 years old in the parking lot waved up at them. It felt like they knew each other. The person couldn't explain it and was left feeling freaked out. Okay, a couple more. The woman with the roses. A guy was waiting to catch a train when a woman with glazed eyes asked him for money. She said that her brother was in the hospital and she wanted to buy him some flowers. Despite suspicions of what she would do with the money, he grudgingly gave her $5. Eventually, his train pulled up and he got on. As it pulled away, he saw the woman through the glass asking other people for money to fund her roses. His train arrived at a station 15 minutes later. He walked to his bus stop and right on time, his bus was arriving. He hopped on and read the paper for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then the bus made a routine stop. The doors opened, and guess who walked on? None other than the woman from earlier with a dozen roses in hand. She looked him right in the eye as she passed by to take a seat. He was stunned, unsure how it was possible that she had time to get flowers and arrive there when he caught the train before her and saw her as he pulled away, then caught the first and only bus going in that particular direction. The mystery went unsolved with no explanation. I probably would have asked. I would have been like, how the fuck did you get here? Okay, this one says the unexplainable boiled egg. A man described an occasion in which he went to grab breakfast at a small buffet that his job had every morning. The kitchen was deserted as he went to get a ceramic egg tray that contained 12 warm, fresh boiled eggs. He took one, went to a nearby garbage bin to peel off the shell, then he turned around, stunned. There were 12 eggs in the tray again. Nobody had entered the room while he was peeling, yet his quantum egg had inexplicably reappeared. 2 more. The mystery man on the bench. Every morning on his way to work, a man would pass through a shopping mall. On one of the benches, he saw an elderly man who appeared to be waiting for someone. He was a fairly normal-looking guy, though he sometimes wore a piece of attire that wasn't particularly stylish, like a golfer's cap, blogger boots, or a vest. Every morning for 4 years, he would see this man, but he never actually witnessed him meeting anyone. Then he got a new job located on a completely different part of town. Only a few days into working, he walked out of the subway, and to his surprise, he saw the exact same guy sitting on a bench. And I'd be like, what are you doing here? And when I found this article, I scrolled through a little bit and I read some of the titles. This one was the one I was most excited to read. This is 13, the last one. It says, The Death That Didn't Happen. After a school pep rally, a person and their friend decided to go to Sonic across the street. The friend dropped something, so the person crossed the street first. They were hit by a red Tahoe. They remember gasping for air and being in and out of consciousness until there was nothing. The person experienced their death. All of a sudden, the person was back in the stadium at the pep rally. Everything began happening just as it had, and their friend wanted to go to Sonic after the rally. Freaked out and curious, the person went with their friend. Just like before, their friend dropped their stuff, but instead of crossing the street, the person waited. A red Tahoe passed by. Unwilling to risk a trip across the street, the person told their friend they were going back to school. Oh my god, that's the craziest one. Whenever I go onto the Glitch in the Matrix subreddit, which these are from the Glitch in the Matrix subreddit, but they're like summarized, those are the ones that always freak me out the most, or like people literally experiencing their own death and then coming to, and all the events are reoccurring. Does that make sense? Like everything happens just as it did when they died. Yeah, fuck that. This is gonna be a short video. Sometimes when I'm picking out articles or stories or whatever, I'm like, this is gonna be a good length video. This is gonna be short. I'm sorry. I'm like debating, I'm like, should I do 3 videos this week? I have time. I was supposed to go to Carlsbad next week and we're not going anymore. I'll ramble about that at the end. Actually, I'll just ramble at the end. I don't need to ramble about this right now. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any Glitch in the Matrix stories you want to share with me or the community, I will have my subreddit link down below. Just remember to flare it as Glitch in the Matrix. It's like a little tag on the post so we know what it's about. But I'm gonna go. I love you guys. I need to ramble. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Anyways, now I can ramble freely without people being like, shut the fuck up. So I was supposed to go to Carlsbad next week with my sister for like 5 days, but someone quit at her job. I'm like telling you too much information, I think, about my sister, but whatever. Someone quit at her job, so it's a little hectic right now, and she just got a new kitten, so she doesn't want to leave yet, which is totally understandable. So we canceled the trip, and so I was already planning on filming 3 videos this week, so I would have a video for next week because I wouldn't have time to film it all next week, so we're going Monday through Friday. So I was already planning on filming 3 videos this week, so I'm like, I could just upload 3 videos this week. How about do that? So I might do that, honestly. I might just, because it's Tuesday, and so this would go up Wednesday, but I could totally edit it after. It's like 11 a.m. I totally have time to edit this today and upload it for tomorrow, so I might do that, honestly. Might do 3 videos this week, might not. We'll see what happens. I'm just lazy. But I could do like 2 reading stories and then a TikTok video. That's so easy. So I'm gonna do that. I already decided I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna upload normal next week. Because I can. And I only uploaded 1 video last week, so this would make up for the video I missed last week. We're doing it. I'm just talking out loud. You always talk out loud. I'm thinking out loud. Like my shirt, King of Beers. It's like Budweiser or something. I also got this hat. Coors. I don't know why okay, so I went to Forever 21 and everything was like beer themed, and I was like, okay, well, I'm into it. So I got a bunch of beer shit. Oh, this is all I got, these 2 things. But I really like this hat. It's pretty cool. And King of Beers. Apparently, that is what I am. I'm gonna go, because I'm gonna edit this video. I think I'm gonna do 3 videos this week. Surprise! Surprise little Wednesday video. I love you guys so much. See ya!